Nice. Can you hear us now?
Sarah?
You're up, Sarah. Read the script.
We can barely hear you, Ben.
Welcome to tonight's meeting. Okay. Before there were microphones, there were stories. Before there were meeting rooms, there were circles. And before there were investigations, there were listening. Tonight, Mount Druitt Koori Toastmasters becomes T.C.I.S, Toastmasters Club Investigative Service, where we don't investigate crime, we investigate courage. Can I please ask everybody to put their mobile phones on silent, so when our speakers talk, we won't have any distractions during our meeting. And as we're all on Zoom, you'll all know where the bathrooms are if you need it.
Huh?
Now to do the acknowledgement of country. We acknowledge the traditional custodians of the land on which we meet. We pay our respects to elders past, present and emerging. Tonight's investigation recognises that storytelling has always been part of Indigenous culture, from campfire yarning to modern microphones. Long before formal speeches existed, there was story, and story is still how we share the truth, as we're all on different lands. Some are on Gadigal, where others were on Darug Nation, different lands for different areas. I'll now hand over to our president, our director for the meeting, Kanga. Please welcome our president and our director for tonight's meeting, Kanga Koori.
Thank you, Sarah. My fellow agents. Well, in this agency, every voice matters. In our culture, stories carry knowledge. Tonight's mission is not about perfection, it is about truth. Because when one person finds a voice, the whole community grows stronger. And hopefully you'll investigate the crimes that will be happening tonight. Now, I will hand it over to my Deputy Director for the Agenda Changers, Ben.
Can everyone hear me? Awesome, Emmett, I love it. So, can I borrow it for English? So, changes for the moment, there are a few, to name a few at least anyway. Kangi will be doing his speech. I will not be doing it because I can't do one with the space I've got. It's not going to let me do it. So, unfortunately, you miss out on that one for now. As far as I'm aware, I think that might be it. I know Punya was going to join us, but he's not now, so that's where I'll do with that. But I think that really is the only change I can think of right now. And there is no speaker 3 either. And were we doing any announcements tonight? Do you remember?
We will.
Okay. So we can do that as part of where the third speaker is supposed to be, or we can move till the end. We'll see how we go with the meeting. But apart from that, I'm going to hand it over now to our special agent in charge for the night, the Toastmaster Tucky.
Thank you very much, Ben. And
Bruno,
can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes. I have a request. I'll be happy to actually conduct a speech, should that be possible.
Thank you.
Lovely.
If you can put your title in the chat, that would be thank you, Special Agent Bruno.
Hello.
Sure.
Excellent.
Howdy.
All right.
Tomorrow.
Agents, tonight's operation is Operation Strong Voice.
Yeah.
Long ago, messages were carried through the song lines, and today we travel through our speeches. But the mission remains the same, to be heard.
Bye.
First, I would like to invite our linguistics specialist, Kanga Cooley, for tonight's word of the day.
Thank you, Special Agent in Charge Taki. Well, the code word for the day is a mission. So a mission is something that you have to do, a task in order to complete. So, for example, I know that my special agents will be completing their pathway mission.
Mission.
So make sure that you will use this word, and I hope to see it in all of your beautiful speeches, agents. The mission has been set out. I will provide my mission report later. Back over to you, Toastmaster in charge.
Thank you, linguistics specialist Kanga. I will now like to ask our surveillance officer, Bruno Morrow, to tell us about his role.
Certainly. Thank you, Madam Taki. The purpose of the the surveillance officer counter report is to ensure that I'll get the mathematical numbers of your filler words or other things that I consider an improvement possibility for you in how you present your speech. Over to you.
I'd like to take this opportunity to just, we have some guests in the room tonight, and I'd like to quickly to invite our visiting agents tonight, and I'd like to ask Sammy, where are you zooming into us, to our agent?
Hi, good evening, everyone. My name is Semi, and I am zooming from Wilmot, near in the vicinity of Welland. I was planning to join physically, but unfortunately, they decided to get on Zoom, so that's why, yeah, I'm joining to get to know about you guys. Thank you.
Thank you, Sammy. And we're in the process. We've been uprooted and we're being relocated temporarily. So we'll get your details. If you can put your email in the link, that would be good. Okay, awesome. And Saban, I'm not quite sure how we ask, but how can you... I'm not quite sure how to say your name, but if you'd like to introduce yourself, thank you. Savan?
Hello everyone. This is Shravan. I am from India. I was a Toastmaster for more than 3.5 years, and currently I didn't renew my membership due to other priorities. I've joined this meeting as a guest today. That's it for now from me. I'm looking
Okay,
forward
thank
to...
you so much. Thank you so much for coming along to our club tonight, and we'll be looking forward to seeing you again. Now, back to I would like to go to our operations controller tonight, just to give us an outline of their role. Thank you, which is on the agenda. Thank you, operations controller.
Thank you very much, Special Agent Tucky. Tonight, I am the operations controller. I'll be looking at all the time that we use and make sure that we use our time effectively. Now, we all know that there can be thieves of time. And when we have thieves of time and they take from our agenda, it makes our agenda run very slowly. And that can be very critical to all our agents' safety. So tonight, I am the operations controller and I will be monitoring. I will be sharing some lights as well in order.
Could you demonstrate them for us, please, operations controller?
I was just about to do that.
Excellent.
Oh,
Yes, I saw that.
why can't I do that?
I will
Hmm.
think that. I have
That's
to
weird.
get approval.
Sorry, I'm going to have to, oh, no. Excuse me, I seem to have lost all my backdrops. I really am so sorry.
That's okay.
No, that's not going to work. I don't know why that's happened.
Well, maybe you can make a makeshift one.
I will. I am going to use some nice visual connections of some lights. Whereas if you see this one, that means you've gone over your time. That's our red sign. Then I will have our green sign, which of course means that you're on track and you've got lots of time to use. And then I will be using my yellow sign. And that yellow sign means get ready to stop. And while I'm quiet in the background, I will be looking for my lights. I don't know why I don't have them. Thank you very much. And remember, I will be monitoring and I will share my reports at the end of the evening. Thank you.
Thank you, operations controller. And I'm glad that you are very innovative with your timing indicators. Thank you. Now I'll have to turn it over to our interrogation specialist. And that will be very important. So our interrogation specialist, Kanga Cooley, thank you very much.
Thank you, Toastmaster in charge. Thank you. Well, agents will now respond without preparation, just as our ancestors once spoke with clarity and courage. I will provide a unique prompt. And in this prompt, you just have to respond to it. And I will repeat the question twice. For our guests or future agents, Sammy, would you like to participate in table topics, yes or no?
Yeah, I will participate.
No worries. We'll do the first question. You are the first investigator at a crime scene. What are your top 3 priorities and why? You are the first investigator at a crime scene. What are your top 3 priorities and why? And I will hand it to one of our esteemed people and club coach, Agent Damika. Please come up and answer.
My first 3 priority would be no one should enter the crime scene. The second would be to collect as much as I can collect evidences. And the third one would be to send it as soon as possible for forensic.
That is a very good response to Sammy. Very good response,
Thank
Agent.
you.
That's what I like. Very prioritized. For my second question, a suspect confesses, but the evidence doesn't fully match. Do you trust the confession or the evidence? Explain your reasoning. A suspect confesses, but the evidence doesn't fully match. Do you trust the confession or the evidence? And explain your reason. And I will give that to the one and only Special Agent Bruno. Special Agent Bruno, please answer the question.
Is the question again for me?
It was for Bruno.
Oh,
Bruno,
sorry.
did you get the question?
Mr. Toastmasters, would you be kind enough in explaining again what's the question?
Yes. So a suspect confesses, but the evidence doesn't fully match. Do you trust the confession or the evidence? Explain your reasoning, Bruno.
I still don't comprehend. Would you be kind enough in repeating?
You're on mute, Kanga.
Mr. Toastmaster,
Oh, sorry.
table topic master, I apologize. Would you mind
Yes.
repeating again?
Yes. Of course. So you had a suspect that confessed, but the evidence doesn't match up. Do you trust the confession or do you trust the evidence, and explain your reasoning, Bruno?
Ladies and gentlemen, fellow Toastmasters and future Toastmasters, what's important, it's the evidence. The evidence dictates the case. May I invite you in this journey? The mind lie. You, yes, you. Everyone's lie. The evidence, it's clear, it's pointing, it's accusing that person. We cannot purely believe in people, because how many times have you actually lied to yourself? I have many times. However, what's done, it's done. Having said that, I will not accept his interrogation report. I will take the proof and I'll move this case forward. In resume, ladies and gentlemen, let's pay attention to the facts. The facts are clear. The evidence is over here. We shall use and incriminate this terrible, rotten human being. Table topic master.
Thank you, Bruno. A very good man and logical at that. That is a very good agent indeed. So the third question is, do you believe modern technology like surveillance or AI has made solving crimes easier or more complicated, and why? Do you believe modern technology like surveillance or AI has made solving crimes easier or more complicated, and why? And I will hand that to the Toastmaster in charge, Taki, to answer this question. Thank you, Toastmaster in charge. Does it help solving crimes? And if no, why or why not? Or has it made it complicated?
I think it's made it very, very complicated. You know why? Because in fraud cases, you could just get AI to make stuff up. So therefore, they could generate all the fraud that you wanted to commit as a crime. How could you prove that it was original? Or how could you prove that it was done correctly? I do not know. I don't have any faith in AI. However, it does have its good points, but when it comes to criminals, I think criminals would use AI to their advantage to God knows what end. And I think, I think we'd have to pass that over to the cybercrime area, because the thing is, I ain't great with computers. And so AI is not my department. So I'd have to hand it over to the other department in regards to cybercrime when it comes to AI, because me, I have no clue. Back to you.
Yes. See what my agents do? They refer to the relevant department, one that specializes in networking and all of the security. Dun, 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 dun. For my last question, if you had to solve a case using only one skill, observation, logic, or communication, which would you choose and how would you use it? if you had to solve a case using only one skill, observation, logic, or communication, which would you choose and how would you use it? And I'll hand it over to the one and only and the Sergeant Arms of the club, Sarah, to answer this question.
Toastmaster, if I had one skill, I would have used it to solve it. Don't think that would be a difficult one to use one skill when it can take a whole lot more to solve one thing. We often have to use more than one skill to do things, because one skill alone doesn't work when we feel we need multiple skills to be able to solve it. I would definitely say it's not possible to solve it with one skill, and that you've really got to come up with multiple skills to be able to solve it. Tabletop Toastmaster.
Thank you, Sarah. And as like she said, an agent has to be multi-talented when it comes to solving crimes. Well, that is it for my table topic session. I hope you felt interrogated, because that was my mission anyway. And I will hand it over back to the Toastmaster in charge. Thank you.
Thank you very much, our interrogation specialist. They were very interesting techniques that you used there. Our first speaker tonight, actually, well, yep, I get it. Yep. Okay, so we've got our first case file tonight, which is case 002. Agent's name, Kangakooli. Mission, Pathways Presentation Manager, Level 4 elective, building a social media presence. The project is Can I Create Kangakooli? Okay, I'll move.
Can you hear me? So, hello, Toastmasters. Well, sorry, my agents and my Toastmaster in charge. So, how do you build social media presence? This is a very challenging thing, because we deal with multiple channels. For example, I'm the club's VPPR. So I manage the website. Mine went off. Zoom. Is this going?
Or you're just coming here.
No, no.
Easy.
Yeah. Excuse me, I lost track of thought. Where I manage the club Facebook and the website. And I have to find creative or innovative ways to attract people to it. This is usually a challenge as to knowing what works, what people connect with, the messaging. For example, for our theme tonight, an instance, trying something of a field agent and how to come up with an idea, a concept, and trying to translate that, where I had to try and create sort of like a special agent thing, being like an agent or James Bond, so that we use sort of the same techniques because we like to investigate, we like to analyze, or create on the laptop to search things, to find things, to create these things. In saying that, it's how you do it consistently. This is where it's usually a trouble. Because how do you try and remain consistent? How do you try and keep the metric going? Because as we know in the Toastmaster year, there's usually holidays that fluctuate up and down in the whole calendar year, like Christmas, Easter, and other holidays in between, Halloween, and so on and so forth. So the idea that you might not get the messages that you intend to reach people, and this is a challenge. Also, trying to reach out to other fellow people. So for me, be doing PR, I try to reach out to my network and say, hey, how do you like this design? Do you think it conveys what we're trying to do? Do you see the message that I'm trying to create behind it? And they'll give me a little feedback. They'll say, the image is too big. Try and shrink it down. Or make sure you have a tagline, something that could relate to people to reel them in. Building social media presence, you do not have to be tech savvy. Honestly, when I first stepped into this role, I was nervous, believe you me. I never did creating Facebook events or using Canva to create the content that we do now. But finding hard as the time to construct it, to develop it, and to make sure that I feel it's okay. This for me is very time consuming. That's only because I am very pedantic. Pedantic meaning that I want it to be perfect. Meaning that I have what I need that's available on there. Like our club info, our club email, a little message that might try and hook them in, our club logo, and so forth. And that's how I try to create the message. In the same way, I do Instagram Reels, where I try and do little short quotes based on specific things we do in Toastmasters. One could be on leadership. One could be on membership. One can be on networking, and so on and so forth. And to try and come up with an image that entices people to go, that's relatable. This I understand. To give an example, I did one from being nervous, like everyone is when they started, to being confident. And all you have to do is take the first step. First step is actually just showing up. The second part is trying to be consistent. That is a very hard challenge. For me, I always keep the metrics in my mind because I want to know what works so that for me, I can adapt and change my style to suit everybody. Whether it's just the reels, the Canva posts, the Facebook posts, our WordPress website, whether it's the newsletters I'm doing, or the calendars, or even if I can promote on the District 90 blog, something to get us recognized. This is how I've kept my PR strategy well, and I think we are doing well. And I hand it over back to Ben. Oh, Toastmaster in charge, sorry.
Thank you. Yeah, take a seat.
Yeah.
I turned your volume down. Thank you, Special Agent Ganga, for your speech, Director. Our next case file is, yes, I know, 003 by our Special Agent Bruno Moro. One trauma at a time. It's a level 2 pathway, engaging humor, 5 to 7 minutes. From a polarized mind full of traumas, the search to a meaning of life and the path to happiness with self-knowledge and medicine from the forest. Bruno Moro, one trauma at a time. One trauma at a time, Bruno Moro.
Thank you, Madam Toastmasters. A show of hands over here. if you think you are perfect.
We can't see you, Bruno.
Can you see me now? Lovely. Thank you, Madame Toastmaster. A show of hands over here if you think you are perfect. A show of hands here if you think there's so much you could improve. Exactly. Ladies and gentlemen, fellow Toastmaster colleagues, future Toastmasters, come with me in this journey of happiness, from a polarized mind to knowledge of the self and medicine from the forest. My journey in this life started like everyone else. Mom, dad, and me, grumpy one, always looking into creating chaos. For many, many years in my life, I thought that I could just disappear. And so I did. At the age of 10 years old, I wanted to move overseas. Could I do that? No, I didn't have money. My parents also told me, you're too crazy to go overseas. A few years later, at 19, I managed to save money and I went traveling, drinking beers, meeting people, going to many, many places in search of happiness, in search of curing and healing. But I didn't know that. Moving forward, after 20 years living overseas, I came across meditation and the Vedic tradition. For some, you would call Hinduism. With that, through my teacher, an Acharya of Vedanta, which is a body of knowledge inside of Hinduism, to make it easy for you to understand, I started connecting with different traditions. What's a tradition? Hinduism, it's not a religion. We call it a tradition. A tradition could be the indigenous people here in Australia, the Kooris, the Aboriginals. It could be the ones in America, the Lakotas, we call the red path, or the black path, which is in Brazil, South America. All those little knowledge started adding more and more and more to my transformation. Have I achieved full happiness? No. But I'm going in that path, in that road that I didn't know that existed. So many ceremonies, rituals, pujas, homas, those two terms are from the Hinduism. They are ceremonies to actually clean and harmonize the person or the house. Going to the forest, ayahuasca. Ayahuasca, it's herbs that helps you connect with your subconscious and look where most of the times you have a wall stopping you to look at the challenges that you have in life or the ones that you don't want to face. And every single medicine from the forest adds a little bit at a time, removing what I thought it was impossible, that I was a broken person, that I had too many traumas to be happy. Drugs, alcohol, women, you name it. And it happens everywhere. We see that and we just ignore. And it's okay. I'm not here to judge. I'm here to tell you what I feel and my journey into the medicine. The medicine from the forest healed me so much, removed so much pain. I had lots of back pain. And through little herbs that you sometimes can find in your garden, using in a certain way, helped me a lot. Slowly, cleaning one trauma at a time, bringing me back to basic, connecting me more and more to nature. I came to realize the three important pillars in life. For me, now it is. First, nature. Second, family. And third, work. We all need to work. Among all those three, there is the gesture of gratitude. Gratitude brings the mind into a state of positivity. A mind that has too much pain, it's a negative mind, it's a judging mind. The medicines can clean, can help you with all of that. Looking back, a boy of 10 years old, looking for social interaction, to belong somewhere, learning how to drink, traveling many countries. To date, I traveled 50. Through one meditation, I was able to find what I was looking for that I didn't find in 50 countries, which was the path to happiness. And that happiness, it's not outside, it's inside. Was through meditation, medicine from the forest, and many, many different people that has been helping me in this path. I invite you to think logically. What do you want in life? Everyone wants to be happy. Some people will project into a house, into a car, or the dream job. And there is nothing wrong with that. But the result of all of that is happiness. And with happiness comes working everything in your mind. I'll leave you with that. It takes 5 seconds for you to create a trauma, sometimes even 1 second. And it can take 50 years for you to cure that trauma. There are so many healing processes out there. The forest gave me so much, and it still gives me so much. And most importantly, in Ayurveda, which is more than nutrition now in the Western world, Ayurveda comes from India. It said that whatever illness or emotional issue, there is one plant close to you to help you with whatever you're feeling. Ladies and gentlemen, don't think twice. Use the forest medicine. Whatever is ancestral, it's over here to help. Over to you, Toastmaster.
Thank you, Agent Morrow. Oh, oh. And I love you. You got double-handed and your Native American ancestral background. Well done. That was a mission and a half. Excellent. All righty. I will now like to invite our forensics analysis chief inspector to introduce. Oh, what? You're saying the joke. Okay. Sorry, I missed a little part. I'd like our funniest agent, our comedic agent, Diane, to give us a joke. Thanks.
Well, as the operations controller, master toastmaster, or master agent, I would never say that I am the funniest person, but I will put my hand up and own. Oh, God. I will put my hand up and I will own that in my lifetime, funny things happened to me. And so right now, I am going to share with you a funny thing that happened to me. I had just reached that wonderful age of 20, and my friend had invited me to go down to the city and shop to our heart's content. We were all ready. The following year, we were going to go overseas for our first holiday. And so we were going down to buy a nice wardrobe that we could take on our holiday. Off we went. I was very excited. We walked into several shops and come across some really great bargains. My friend really had an eye for taking us to exactly the right places within the city. I seen a display in the window and I seen this dress and I really liked it and wandered into the shop to investigate the price of this dress. I looked for it and found it on a rack. And I thought, oh, and it was so nice that I thought not only was I going to get the red and white, but I was also going to get the green and white because the dress was just exactly up my alley. It had this really lovely high neck with a frill that was buttoned, and it come to the waist with a lovely belt and then fitted in a nice fitted skirt to the top of the knee. And I really liked the price. Unfortunately, the green and white, which I really wanted because I've got green eyes, I couldn't seem to find in my size. And then I looked over and I seen this lady and she was looking right at me. And so I asked her, "Do you work here?" And she didn't answer me. So then I spoke a little bit louder. Excuse me, can you help me? I'm really trying to find this dress, but I can't seem to find it in my size." And again, this woman looked at me and then didn't answer my return. By this time, I was a little bit frustrated because I really wanted the red and white and the green and white. And I spoke a little bit more louder. "Excuse me, if you work here and you can help me, can you please answer me?" And then other people in the shop started looking at me. And then I looked and realized I was talking to myself in a mirror. I left the shop without either of the dresses, which I was devastated about. But please, when you go out shopping and your very first adventure, always remember what you look like. Back to you.
Thank you so much. And I love hearing funny stories. And I can imagine some people do that too. I remember going into a shop and saying, "I want that dress," but it was on the one on the shop assistant. I go, "But I really like that color," and it was the only one left in the shop. And she took it off, and I got it. So, yay for me! Awesome. See the skills of being an agent, which is pretty cool. Alrighty, I go back to the. Hang on, where am I? Where am I? Yep, I'm going to the Frien. I am very tongue-tied tonight. Forensic Analysis, Chief Inspector, intro. Back over to you, which is...
That'd be you, Di.
That'd be you.
Thank you. And it's this part of the evening that I love, that I'm really thankful that the mission was given to me. A forensic analyst down as the general evaluator. The general evaluator in every Toastmasters meeting is a valued role. It's the role that everything that we do, we get evaluated. Because if we don't get evaluated as an educational program, we will not grow. So the general evaluator will evaluate some of the things that happen during the evening and also introduce all the evaluators who will be evaluating the other activities that happen in the evening. Now, the first person I would like to bring to the virtual lectern is Ben, who will be evaluating our table topics for the evening. Now, Ben was really, really enthusiastic because he decided to take on not only the not-so-odd speakers, but the even speakers as well. Please, if we could bring to the virtual lectern, Ben.
Thank you very much, Chief Inspector, for the evening. Yes, I'm going to take on the helm of doing our interrogation specialists tonight, who got interrogated by our master interrogator, also our director of the agency. So we'll start with Sammy. Sammy, is this your first time doing a meeting?
Yeah, it's my first time to join a Toastmaster.
That's good. Oh, you did really well. And it's good to see you actually had good points to answer. You could have expanded a little bit, I thought. Give it more depth to those points. Create something, make it up. We're not going to know, right? But also, your hand gestures can be helpful as well to emphasize a point. But apart from that, you did really well. Congratulations on taking on an interrogation tonight. So very well done. We applaud you very well.
Thank you.
Then I come to our surveillance agent tonight, Bruno. His question was: a suspect confesses he trusts the evidence or the reasoning. Bruno decided to go and trust the evidence. And I thought Bruno had a really good answer. He always does. He comes up with creative answers, which was really great to see. And you actually used the virtual world really well, Bruno, I thought. So well done. It's always hard doing it on Zoom, and that's because we are on Zoom. It actually was unique to see you doing something on Zoom where you could actually stand up for a change. Because normally we see you sitting down. So well done. That's really good. So if we're on Zoom for a while, keep it up, stand up as much as you can. Makes it work even better for us. We had next Tucky. Does AI help in solving crimes? I think she got a bit stumped with this one, actually. So well done, Kanga, for stumping your mum, actually. So, yes, we know Tucky doesn't like AI and we doesn't like tech either. We have another one in the room who doesn't like tech, but she's doing really well for Watts right now. So everyone at some point hates technology, and AI can be just as a pain in the rear end. Like I didn't say the other thing. It also makes things complicated, which Tucky mentioned, and having a good point, I think because you got stumped a bit, maybe it was harder to answer the question. So well done for trying, though. When you come to our last one, Sarah had to solve a case using a single skill. And Sarah, you went the other way and chose to use all the skills. So you took the question and twisted it, which is always a good technique to use sometimes as well. If you're unsure, twist it. So well done for using that skill, and you did it really well. It really, I know where you are, Sarah, it's probably not the greatest thing, but we see from here above. Okay? We see from basically your chin upwards and a lot of the ceiling. It might be a good idea if you can, and that PowerPoint in the side there is really distracting sometimes, especially when you're trying to talk and we see a PowerPoint right in front of you. That can be really distracting. So just bear that in mind. And if you can stand up and try and, I don't know if you can move your iPad or what you're using out a bit, it may help. But we want to see more than just your head because it will make your speech or whatever you're doing a lot more powerful. Apart from that, everyone did really well, especially being interrogated by a director tonight. We won't really go to his head too much, because it might make our director even more fearful next time. So with that, that is the forensic analysis done on our table topics tonight. I'll hand it back to our special agent in charge, Tucky.
Well, no.
Oh, no, me.
Sorry. I forget my own agenda. Sorry. I'll hand it back to our chief forensic analysis for the night, Diane.
Thank you, Ben, trying to
Sorry, guys, that was my fault.
take away my glory.
I'm sorry, all
right. For giving some wonderful feedback to our speakers. Now, for our two speeches tonight, I would now like to introduce Tucky, who will be evaluating Kanga. Yes?
Correct. Oh, no, I got to get back up. Actually, I'll be a mini me for the moment. How I enjoyed Kanga's speech about telling us about all the different platforms that we may not have heard about in regards to doing publicity or doing the PR role that he has encountered, like using WordPress and Facebook and other outlets. He also mentioned about what works and what I thought he could have done if he could share a slide, especially when we've got the screen, because I'd seen that he had a whole bunch of statistics earlier of what he's been tracking, and it would have been good to show those statistics. God, I'm tongue-tied. Of what was measurable, and it also showed on these statistics what platform worked the best and what content was the best. So I would have, if Kanga was to do this speech again, I would have loved him to incorporate the statistical graphs that he has created for the platform in regards to this speech. Overall, it was great knowing the pros and cons that he's learned along the way and how he aimed to improve and get better and better and better. So overall, Kanga did a great and wonderful speech. And I definitely feel that, that if he had used just that one graph that he'd showed me earlier and working out the dates that what content he actually shared and the highest reaches, and then we're going, oh yeah, we got to use that again because that's bringing people in and hitting our web page and hitting our Facebook, and so it shows it to be real to all of us that are members of the club. So thank you, Kanga, and back to our chief evaluator.
Thank you kindly, Chucky, for those wonderful words of wisdom towards Kanga's presentation. And so now we're going to hear from Kanga, his viewpoints on Bruno's presentation.
Bruno had nominated you for that one, Di.
Oh, did he? Oh, wonderful. Because I always take notes. Thank you very much. So first of all,
Ian, sorry to interrupt you. We can't see you. Do you think you can make yourself visible, or is it not possible?
I will do that.
Thank you very much.
Dick.
I'm so sorry.
And just like that, she appears like magic.
1 second. Thank you. So tonight, Bruno done a presentation. I really loved how Bruno used a virtual background to enhance and intrigue the audience as he was taking us through a journey of how to challenge yourself and think things differently. The purpose of Bruno's speech was definitely to inspire us, but also to share with us and educate us about a different way to think about life and to approach life in a very positive way. Bruno used his audience brilliantly, which was something that I am really happy about because Bruno knew who his audience was. He enhanced the audience by highlighting that some of the audience were of other cultures, and he thread that all the way through his presentation, which was very clever. I would say that the only thing, if I was going to say one thing for recommendation, it would be, though the virtual background I really enjoyed, at times when Bruno was using his body language to draw the audience into his presentation, his hands were getting that second visual presentation that was a little bit distracting. Not a great, but it was slightly distracting to the audience. Bruno used pauses exemplary. He really wanted to make sure that the audience reflected on key points. And when he come to almost the end of his presentation and he started using his body language by highlighting that there is 3 key factors that we need to take into our life in order to consider change and inspire us about change. And that was the educational value that really come into the forefront when Bruno was able to do that, because he was all of a sudden he shared a vision, he shared a journey that he'd been on, and he gave us some wonderful insight into a subject. But then when he used that body language and those three key points, that was the educational inspiration. I'm challenging you to think about these 3 points. And then his conclusion brought it all together, which was really done well. I straight away started Googling on my phone, I'm sorry, and looking at different things, which is a way that we should be. We should be intrigued by people and bring that information into our fruition. So definitely Bruno did that. I would like to know what activity you were doing.
Would you like me to answer now, Madam Evaluator?
Yeah, please.
There are several ones I've talked about briefly about.
Oh, no. What pathway? Sorry.
Pathway level 2. Level 2, engaging humor, effective use of body language, hand gestures.
Wonderful. Thank you for that. Well, clearly I've already highlighted that your body language added to the whole presentation. You used your body language very effectively to bring all that information together. So at this stage, I know I've already gone way over time. Thank you, Bruno, and back to me. It's here that I am going to introduce our grammarian, and then we'll introduce our surveillance officer, and then I will wrap it all up with the general evaluation of other activities that happen tonight. So please, can we introduce our linguistic officer, Kanga?
Hang on. Yes.
And just before you do the general evaluation, I have one more thing to do before that, if that's okay.
Oh, no. So for the code word, which was mission, I didn't see it used a lot other than 2 people. Did anyone pay attention to who those 2 people were? Dun, 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 dun. There's one, the operation controller and the director, obviously. But we didn't hit the mission, but that's okay. But we're still learning. So that's why I'm a director of this agency. So
Your mum said when she mentioned tonight's mission.
I stand corrected. I forgot there was a code mission that my special agent in charge, Tucky, did. So it's a 1 equal way triple tie between the 3 executives. Why am I not surprised? And I'll hand it over back to our chief forensic expert, Diane.
Thank you, linguistic officer Kanga. Now we're going to hear. I'm really excited that we are bringing the counter back into the agenda, and so I'm really looking forward to our surveillance agent and how he monitored our language tonight to see who used filler words. Please let us introduce Agent Bruno.
Thank you, Madam Operational Controller. I had the great pleasure to be active listening to everyone speaking today. And part of my role is to listen to filler words or other words that could be used more effectively, such as alrighty. We could use just suppose rather than just throwing certain words. I've captured some of those people. If I didn't pick up your filler words, it's your lucky day. I would like to give the winner's hat to Taki Cooley for exemplary use of many filler words. Taki used about 7 times. I. Alrighty. Okay. Sorry. Better. Oh, you know. Kanga. Like, which could be used. Pause and talk about something else. Like I went yesterday. You can just say, I went yesterday. That's for the benefit of visitors and future Toastmasters. Sammy, well done, mate. Under pressure, you just did one end and one I. Oh, sorry. Yeah, twice. And under pressure, we'd have this tendency of just throwing words over there. My suggestion, next time, I didn't freeze. I just paused. That's how we eliminate filler words. Everyone else did extremely well. Oh, why did I say well? Diane said well 3 times. Well. That's the end of my session, and I hand it back to you.
Oh, thank you kindly for bringing that to my attention. I do know that there was maybe 2 or 3 others that were words that I should not have used, but thank you. I already wrote my name down on the list even before you mentioned it. Thank you. Now we have to introduce a special agent, Tucky, who wants to bring something very intriguing to our knowledge. So please, Toastmasters, let us listen to Special Agent Tucky.
Well, fellow agents, TCIS headquarters, Area 28 Command, Communications Intelligence Network activated. Tonight we welcome our high-level officer from Toastmasters Club Investigative Service. This officer oversees multiple agencies across Area 28, ensuring communication standards, leadership excellence, and mission success across all Toastmasters units. Please welcome.
Access granted.
No, it's not. So it should be.
Where is he?
Unfortunately, our area director broke the connection and couldn't make it, and he was whipped off to a different emergency. So unfortunately, the area director couldn't do his briefing tonight. So, but he was wanting to come, but unfortunately he just gave me a call and said, I've got to get off right now. I've got to go somewhere. So back to me.
Just a reminder, it's Division 12, not Division.
This is our club.
Yeah, but the division is Division 12.
Yeah, but it was for,
Right.
it was just
This was a division for Area 28. Division for the safety in the area.
28 because we were doing an investigation. So yes, it was more about Area 28 because he's our area in our division.
Area command.
Area commander or commanding officer for this project. Anyway, back to our tree forensic analyst. Back to you.
Thank you ever so kindly. I was really enjoying that. I am ever so disappointed that. So just for the sake of filling in some information, this Saturday, Western Division's competition is being held at Blacktown Workers Club. We would need for lots of people to come along. It's always great to have an audience when you have people that are competing. Unfortunately, Druitt Koori do not have a competitor in that competition, but I am a competitor from another club and will be competing in the evaluation contest. And I love looking into the audience and seeing friendly, smiling faces of people that I know. So please, there are some intriguing people there, and I'm competing in 2 competitions, both on behalf of another club. But there are 4 competitions for international, and we all know that international speakers will at one stage make their way to America for a large competition. Then we have the evaluation contest, which I am a competitor. And that's my favorite competition, I have to tell you. Then we have the table topics competition, which I'm also a competitor. And then the end of the day will be the humorous speaking competition. And we all know I'm not a competitor in that because I'm not a funny person, just funny things happen to me. So please, if you have nothing to do on Saturday, the competition does start at 10:30 and it will finish later in the day, depending on how good we use time. Now I'm going to evaluate all the other activities that have happened this evening. I want to first of all start with the logistics officer who called us all to order. She done that very promptly, but we have seen Sarah use her voice far more powerful when we're in the room. I would suggest to use the same voice in the room as she does on Zoom, and it would have been brilliant. Sarah then went on to do the acknowledgement of country. And I do know there was a lot of scripts for people tonight, but the acknowledgement of country, it's fine to acknowledge some of those scripts, but you always should do it from a personal viewpoint when you acknowledge country for on behalf of the Aboriginal people. Our director, Kanga, come in and welcomed us well, and Ben used time really well to fill in all those blanks. Our grammarian Kanga introduced the word mission. I would have liked Kanga to use it in a sentence structure, or also add whether or not the word was a noun or a verb, because sometimes mission can be a verb and a noun. And it's good that people are aware when they're using such words as mission to know that I'm using it now as a verb, a doing word, or as a noun, introducing the mission of the night. And it also helps for other people when
No, but I'm talking about the best recruit because
when you give you're talking Kanga over me.
Sorry, my apologies. I didn't realize.
when you introduce lots more information, it helps the audience engage with the word and the process of the evening. The RR counter done a wonderful job of introducing his role as a surveillance officer. And he done an effective presentation at the end of the evening, highlighting all those wonderful things that and especially involving the guest as an activity. The timer, though, technology did get in my way slightly. I don't know why it's moved from down here to over here on my computer screen. The screens that I use for the lights, but I was able to find them and able to use them during the rest of the night. But I should have checked that before the meeting started. Our table topics, our interrogation officer, and I really love the titles that the VPE has added to the agenda by introducing people. So our interrogation officer, Kanga, who done the table topics, introduced his presentation well. Where he was originally, it was a bit dark, and it's probably one of the reasons that some of the speakers didn't quite get the gist of the question. But the questions I thought were intriguing. I would have liked to have answered all of them, but we had to leave that to other people. And thank you very much, Kanga, for putting a lot of thought process into those questions for the theme of the evening. Speaker one, Kanga. Oh no, I'm not evaluating the speakers. So that brings us to the end of our general evaluation for the evening.
All right. We're evaluating the evaluators of the speakers.
Oh, yes, I am evaluating the value. Sorry, Ben, I did write notes down about you. So Ben took on that really brave role of evaluating all four speakers in the evaluation contest, in the table topics presentation. Ben added by giving great feedback at the beginning because we like to make a good sandwich with all evaluations, make all our speakers feel good about themselves. And Ben was able to do that. I suggest that Ben really looks at trying to give more examples of his feedback when he says the electric cord was distracting. Then you could have suggested, Sarah, is there any way for you to move your camera in order for you to avoid that cord? And that way, Sarah has got thought processes next time to where she can put her camera in a far more effective way.
I did mention that, Di. Continue.
Can I finish doing my evaluation?
Yeah, you can. Sorry, keep going.
So then we had the evaluators. So Tucky stood up and done the evaluation of Kanga's presentation. I feel that time was a vital point for both. The evaluator only used 1 minute and 42 seconds, and the speaker only used 5 minutes and 10 seconds. And so time could have been something that both that the evaluator could have added to the feedback. But Tucky used her vocal variety very well, pointed out some really key points about the presentation, and again, used as wonderful feedback by making the speaker feel really good, giving some feedback, and then making the speaker feel good before at the end of his presentation. It's here that we only should evaluate what the speaker says. We didn't see all those other pictures. We weren't to know that there was other pictures that existed. And when the evaluator gave feedback on something that we didn't hear the presenter not use, it was a bit nonchalant. So at this stage, I would say it's always vitally important to only evaluate what you hear and what you see, not what you believed it could have been. So then I evaluated Bruno, and it was at this stage that, first of all, I didn't know I was evaluating Bruno, but I always do take effective notes. I used far too much time, and I apologize to the whole audience because I actually used 5 minutes in evaluating Bruno's really effective 7 minutes and 5 seconds presentation. So I used far too much time, but I did add some nice effective time to the by starting by acknowledging that the speaker that I felt make sure the speaker feels really good, give some feedback, make some suggestions on how the speaker done, and definitely make the speaker feel really good at the end. So this will bring me to the end of my evaluation, and I now will give it back to our special agent, Tucky Cooley. Oh no, I've got to do the timers report now, don't I?
Yes.
That would be helpful, Di.
Sorry.
That would be helpful.
So first of all, Sarah called to order 1 minute 36, but her acknowledgement of country was only 1 minute. Our director, Kanga, used 46 seconds, and Ben, our deputy director, done 1 minute and 15, which is really great when you've got to fill an agenda that isn't quite full. Our special agent used some wonderful times in her transitions as Toastmaster, and her introduction was done for 1 minute. The grammarian used 48 seconds to introduce the presentation and 1 minute exactly to give feedback afterwards. The our counter, the surveillance officer, used 50 seconds and 2 minutes and 15 to use their presentation. The timer, or there was 2 minutes and 30 seconds used for the timer to introduce the activity, but it was also introducing guests that use 1 minute of that time frame. The table topics was some wonderful transitions, and the total table topics was 9 minutes, with speaker one 25 seconds. So you actually beat me, Sammy. My very first table topics I only spoke for 23 seconds. Speaker two, 1 minute and 5. Speaker three, 1 minute 15. And speaker four, 1 minute and 5. As already shared, Bruno's speech was 7 minutes and 7 seconds, I'm sorry. Kanga's was 5 minutes and 12 seconds. And the jokester was 3 minutes and 21 seconds. The general evaluator introduction was 1 minute and 45, and Ben's evaluation was 4 minutes or 3 minutes and 57 seconds. Sorry. As I said, I went over with my evaluation on Bruno, and Tucky went under with her evaluation on Kanga. The grammarian used 1 minute, and that is it for the timing report. Back to you, Special Agent Tucky Cooley.
Thank you very much. And yes, you gave a full forensic analysis there, and that was a mission and a half. So speaking is not performance, it's responsibility. And because when we speak, we represent those who came before us and for those yet to come. So I totally welcome you back, Sammy, to our next meeting when we have it in 2 weeks' time, and we'll let you know when that will be. We'll send you an agenda. I will now hand over to the Deputy Director Honours, Benjamin Code.
Okay, so for those who have actually done the voting poll, Kanga has put the list up in the chat. So if you haven't done it already, please do it. And while that's happening, I will.
I'll do the
Mr. VP, permission to speak.
Sure.
Thank you. I quickly created a
Actually, I'm sorry, I forgot to mention that. So well done. Thank you. Continue, please.
Certainly. I took the liberty of creating quickly a Google form to facilitate the voting. Are you okay with people using that Google form?
If that is what people prefer to use at the moment, and if it's easier for them, sure.
Lovely. Guys, there is a link in the group. I can post it again. And basically over there you click and it's very easy. You just pick which person actually resonated the most with you and press send. That will give the vote. And we know what's the best preference here for the best evaluator, the best speaker, and so on. Over to you, Mr. VP.
All right. So while people are doing that,
So
we'll hand it. Hang on.
the directions.
I actually just love it when people get.
Right.
So while everyone's doing that, thank you, Britta, for reposting that. Our surveillance agent has reposted the link in there. So while people are going ahead and filling out that form, we'll go and jump to the next segment on our agenda, which I believe
Is
the executive announcement.
And I will hand that over to Kanga to do the executive announcements. Thank you.
Yes. Hello, everybody. I will get down a little bit easier to make it easier on screen. Unfortunately, as everyone knows, and I have told my executive team that technically this was the last time we would have been at the hub. Being that the hub is now being redeveloped, we are technically without a helm. And knowing that we do have 6 members here, I have a question to ask. Whether do we find another venue or do we stay online until the helm gets redeveloped? Because technically we have no other helm currently, or we go online until the hub comes back.
Do we have dates, Kanga, for when the hub will be available?
Mark has not provided them, as far as I'm aware.
And that's something we have to be quite mindful of, that I have shared with Tucky, that I've been concerned about for some times, because Mark's always been a great advocate for Druitt Koori Toastmasters and has supported us strongly, but they're not going to renew his contract.
Okay.
And so Mark will no longer be the liaison officer come July. So it's something that we have to be quite mindful of, that will, I mean, I'm lucky that Druitt Koori Toastmasters still owns owns the chair of the interagency, but we will have to start campaigning to council in order to make sure that we still have the same offer of free access to the venue. Because if we have to start paying, then that's going to be problematic. It'll have to be something that we may have to pass on to our members.
That was right. The main concern with Mark was what was going to happen, because, like I said before, because of what the arrangement we had with the hub, and knowing that we were going to have to transfer at some point, there was only 2 venues that did come to mind. Unfortunately, they're not ideal venues, which was, as I mentioned to majority of the team, was Doonside Community Centre, which I know is a little bit further out in a different suburb that's untested, or Kevin Betts, which I think we could get a very good agreement with them. But in saying that, or we go on Zoom. But Mark tried to switch us to Ropes Crossing, which I think was a bit too far for all of us.
Just for those who travel by public transport.
Because majority of us travel way too fast.
Yeah, and would we have the same, like, because at the hub we own the cupboard. Well, we have access to a cupboard for storage, but would we get the same luxury at Ropes Crossing? Because Ropes Crossing is not, and I used to work at Ropes Crossing and tried to access that centre a few times just when the days were really hot and I didn't want to stay out in the hot sun and have my lunch. And you weren't allowed to use it. You just weren't allowed to go into it and use it during a hot break, like so I used to sit inside Coles and eat my lunch on many a days where it was too hot to be out in the sun. But so it's not would they give us the luxury of a cupboard? I doubt it. And so then we would have to be someone who was mobile and could carry our equipment around because I've done some cleaning at my place and I've got 4 bags here and a tub that's all full of Toastmasters stuff that doesn't belong to me, but it belongs to Druitt Koori. But so again, that's going to be a real problem on what are we going to do.
Yeah.
That's why I'm asking.
So that's the challenge as well. So that's something.
Sorry, Tucky, I didn't hear what you just said.
And unfortunately, we don't have a car as of current because ours is totally off, totally written off, and we don't have a vehicle at this moment in time. So that's another challenge that we face. That's why we thought Rose Crossing was a bit out of the way. It's hard to get to, and even at getting home at night would be hard for everybody that travels by public transport. Like all 3 of us, Sarah, would be very hard to actually, get out there without
well, it's the same with me. To get to the basketball stadium, it's too far for me to walk. I wouldn't be able to walk there and then walk back. And
so
Doonside it's out of the way because I wouldn't be able to get home.
Okay.
Because by the time the meeting finished and I got to the train station and got the train back to Penrith, I would have already missed the last bus from Penrith Station to my place.
Okay.
Like Ropes Crossing, at least I'll get on the last bus.
Yeah.
And it's the same with the basketball stadium at Mount Druitt because, the bus leaves at 12 minutes past 9. If I'm not on that bus, I'm stranded. And then I can get on a train and get back to Penrith, but I still can't get a bus to get home.
Yeah, got it.
Permission to speak.
Yeah.
Yes, Bruno.
It's time for us to perhaps wrap it up, and we could stay back and discuss that as a club. So our visitors perhaps have actually go on with their life. Is it a good suggestion, guys?
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that's it.
Sammy,
Lovely.
is there anything you'd like to say about tonight?
I enjoyed it, and I did note some of the points with myself regarding the speakers and what they discussed. And I like the Bruno's speech, the way he communicates and he grab attention of people. I like that. But let's see in future. Hope I join again. That's all from my side. Thank you.
Okay, cool. Thank you. And can we go back because I can't see? All right. Well, we just want to, before Kenga closes the meeting, we'll. Okay, do the final word.
My final word is that I feel bad that we're leaving the hub. It's been a sad. Sorry, I'm getting recorrected by my educator. Forgive me. Tonight's no crimes were solved, but confidence was discovered, stories were shared, and voices were strengthened. But like I said, it was a hard time that we've lost the hub. I know we've been there for a while. and it's going to be hard finding a new helm to replace it. And I will now hand it over to my Sergeant at Arms.
No.
No.
The awards.
Oh, the awards. Bruno, I'm assuming you have the results, brother. You're on mute, Bruno.
Lovely. Thank you very much for handing the meeting to me in order for me to announce the best of the best here. We received 5 votes, and the result, let me check here the result. Radio. Resume. Okay. For the best speaker, we got Bruno as the best speaker with 40% of the votes. As a best evaluator, we actually got Benjamin with 60% of the votes.
I'll take the bragging rights now. All right.
Best table topic speaker, him, the only, and one, Bruno Mora.
Yeah.
Best, best recruit today. Da-na-na-na. Sammy. Well done, Sammy. You're welcome here anytime, my friend. It will be a great pleasure to have you here. If there is anything that we can help, let us know. There's lots of very experienced people here. Don't be shy. Good to see that you come over here. And the best agency segment of tonight, with 40% of the vote, it goes to Kanga, the linguistics specialist. I'll hand it back the meeting to you. Thank you.
With that being said, I'll hand it over to Sarah to close the meeting.
And
Unmute yourself, Sarah.
Unmute yourself, Sarah.
Just unmute it for her. You? Is there a script for the ending?
The investigation is complete. The stories continue. T.C.I.S. stands for Toastmasters Club Investigative Service. Close tonight's meeting, 8:34.